welcome to another inventRight.com YouTube show. My name is Andrew Krauss. I co-founded inventRight with Stephen Key over 18 years ago. So on this show, I want to talk about licensing contracts and just really, it's really the basics. What is a licensing contract? As in a previous video, I explained that sometimes when people are new to licensing, they don't know the difference between a patent and what is licensing and what is a patent. So a patent is just protecting something, and a licensing agreement is your agreement with the company that you do a deal with so that they have to pay you royalties while they sell the product. So I wanted to cover a little bit more about what is a licensing agreement, why do you need one, and cover a few things that shock people. A good percentage of our students, when they do a licensing agreement, the company doesn't care about a patent. Now, some don't care at all. Say, oh no, yeah, we'll pay you a royalty. We don't really do patents, but you came to us with this idea, we're going to distribute and sell this and we'll pay you this royalty. So don't always think, and I had talked to a patent attorney the other day, and he's like, well, what are you selling? What are you selling? And it's like, well, you're selling the benefit of your product so that they can sell this thing and make money. A licensing contract does not always have to be dependent on a patent. And it's actually better if it's not. Quite often it is, and that's fine. You file the provisional and you see if they want to pay for the patent or give you the money to do it. And you can write in there that you're licensing the patent, but sometimes you're licensing the know-how or just the product itself. So one thing that surprised a lot of people about licensing agreements, it doesn't have to be dependent on a patent. I'm licensing the patent. You can license the know-how or the product itself without the patent. And that's another thing that I think is really important to understand with licensing agreements. There are no rules. There are basic rules that are very important, and you shouldn't make up a bunch of your own rules. But if you and the licensee, you're the licensor and they're the licensee, if you and them agree on things, you can put whatever you want in a licensing contract. It's not like a patent where it has to be written a certain way for a patent office to approve it. This is a contract between you and the company. So as long as everything makes sense to both of you, you can agree on whatever. And that's what I think some patent attorneys don't understand. They get too wrapped up in the patent. Now, so some companies really care about the patent. It'll be included as part of the agreement that that's what you're licensing. Some are like, well, we'll go ahead and file it. We want that perceived protection of patent pending. Others are like, we don't care. You can file it if you want, but yeah, we'll pay you royalties. And your main distribution is your protection. So the fact that they're in 20,000 stores and they get it out there first in a big way, first to market, is your protection. And a lot of people don't realize, like, oh, I guess that is protection because everybody else is the me too, right? And you team up with a big company and get out there really quick. So that's a great form of protection. So a license agreement is an agreement between you and the company that they are going to pay you royalties. Whenever we have 98% of our students do deals where they pay you quarterly. And so that's every 3 months, and they pay you royalties on what they sold. So it's got to be in the stores and selling for a quarter, 3 months, and then you get your royalty checks that way. So that's called, and then you usually want to have minimum guarantees as well. So minimum guarantees will guarantee that they have to pay you a certain amount whether or not they sell that. So in other words, it's one way of many, I can't go into them all, of ensuring that they don't just license it and sit on it. Because they don't want to pay you for money for something that's not in the market and not making them any money. So a licensing agreement, again, is an agreement between you and the company that they're going to pay you royalties and on the products that they sell, and they have to have certain performance guarantees. A lot of times when our students get contracts, they have no performance guarantees and they're kind of freaking out. It's like, no, that's okay. We'll convince them that this is what we need to do to get this deal done. And once you explain to a company that, well, if I license this to you and there is no performance guarantee, you could just sit on it for 20 years and do nothing. And they can't really argue that. I wouldn't say it just that way, but it's a very key point in a licensing agreement. Performance guarantees. The main one that you use a lot of the time is minimum guarantees, certain dollar amounts. They sold 0 units, they still need to pay you that. Now, of course, if you go beyond those minimums, they'll pay you royalties on whatever you sell. And usually the minimum guarantees are minimum. They're very minimal. But it's ensuring they don't sit on it. So, you know, some people are so new when they ask me, what's the difference between a patent and licensing? And then I know, okay, well, we need to educate some folks, and that's what our channel is all about. So I wanted to cover just some really basic terms on what is a licensing agreement. I hope you found this was helpful. I can do more advanced ones on licensing agreements. And I'll remind everybody to take care, keep inventing, and we'll catch up with you next time.
Hi, this is Stephen Key, and I just want to thank you for watching inventRight TV. We're here to save you time, save you money, and show you how you can bring your products to market through licensing. So please subscribe down below, click on the button, and tell your friends. Thank you.